Welcome to lecture number 31. In this lecture we shall discuss about interpretation of cash flow analysis. Let us now analyze the calculations done so far and look at the interpretations. The first interpretation shall be done on the cash flow of operations of CFO. The banker must know the questions to be asked from analysis of cash flow from operating activities of the borrower's company. Please note the various situations and interpretations from cash flow analysis. In case 1, we consider that the banker finds the CFO is positive. This implies that there is a net cash inflow from operating activities. The other factors observed is 1. Low operating cycle of the borrower's business, and 2. Sales growth is volume driven. The interpretation and conclusion of the banker is that this borrower's business is favorable for funding. In case 2, the cash flow from operating activities is negative, which implies that there is net cash outflow from operating activities. The other factors observed are 1. Increase in operating cycle and 2. Increase in current assets. The banker must consider this borrower as not favorable for lending and the banker must check sales growth figures. We shall look at the interpretation of the cash flow from financing activities or CFF. The banker must know the questions to be asked for analysis of cash flow from financing activities of the borrower's company. Please note the various situations and interpretations from cash flow analysis. In case 1, the banker finds the CFF is positive and the reason is increase in equity and reserves. The banker should consider this borrower as favorable for lending because the promoter's stake is increasing. In case 2, the CFF is positive and the reason is increase in total outside liability, TOL. In this case, the banker should view this borrower as not favorable for lending as the borrowing of the company is already increasing. Please note, the banker needs to check the capability of the borrower to repay the incremental debt arising out of the new liability. In case 3, the CFF is negative and the reason for the same is that the company is paying off its liabilities. The banker should consider such borrower as favorable for lending if the company is reducing its total outside liability. In case 4, the CFF is negative, means there is net cash outflow, and the reason is the company is repaying its unsecured loans taken from promoters. The banker should consider this borrower as not favorable for lending and must check why the promoter is reducing their investment. Please note, the banker needs to check if the borrower's interest in the business is going down and can manifest into repayment risk in future. Let us look at the cash flow from investment and the interpretation of the same for bankers. The banker must know the questions to be asked for analysis of cash flow from investing activities of the borrower's company. Please note that investments result into cash outflow and interpretations of positive and negative cash flow should be read in this context only. In case 1, the CFI is negative, which implies net cash outflow, and the reason is the company is investing in the purchase of assets. The banker must look at this as favorable for lending if the investment is in productive assets. The company shall be deemed unfavorable for lending if the investment is in speculative or unproductive assets. In case 2, the CFI is positive. The company is having cash inflow from the investment. The reasons observed are company is earning from the investments made and also the company is diluting its previous investments. For the banker, if total outside liability or debt is low, then this is favorable for lending. If debt or TOL is very high, then this may be risky. Please note, high debt implies that the company will spend all its earning from investment in repayment of liabilities and will not be able to reinvest in growth. Thank you for watching this lecture.